Welcome to Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Part 3. There are things that happen in this that are pretty interesting, and we even find a friend. A very good friend. And the narrator wants to split us apart. I'm sorry, but it's very tragic. More tragic than last time, where we died. What happened to all the balloons? I haven't seen them in a while.
What could it mean?
I,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'll just do this again.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Alright, we go back to the DLC area. And maybe you'll kick the DLC in. Because for some reason, DLC was not there. I wish it was, but it wasn't.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development. Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll be honest. I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version,
I clicked that one.
office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Let me click this one because I went with that one.
Sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Oh, let me go ahead and... out of order. Alright, I think I totally forgot about it. I really did forget that we did this last round. But I kind of stopped in the infinite hole. And it kind of reset this whole area. So... I guess we never actually finished this. That's why none of the other stuff came into play. Like
Stanley,
the bucket.
Here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite.
Go back in the hole.
You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I do say so.
And fallen
Since you've got
down
to
the
see
well.
the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nope, I'm good. I just continue to follow and follow and follow.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that's that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
Found
You
the bottom.
out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Maybe I am. I like holes.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Okay, let's walk. Oh no!
For heaven, you see? I was right. The problem is you. The problem
I
is
fell
that
down
you
the hole
like
again.
holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
It's smaller.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you.
Oh no, I fell down again. My bad.
If this starts to become a thing where...
It's even smaller.
Yeah. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Okay, I guess I jump in.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
A hole's a hole.
Who am
I love
to
holes.
judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do.
Yay.
Hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
Yeah.
You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally
My
anything
hole.
else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Me and my new life in this hole, yeah. What's that? Made a weird sound. Oh, it's starting to drop. Red Theft to change perspective. I like that one. That one looks scary. But wait, what's the best matchup?
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
Oh,
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
is it gonna start dropping again? Oh, what? What? What happened?
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Or I can go back inside the hole. I wonder. Oh, it's closed. Right, let me go ahead and go to the exit then.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Moving on the way.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Yes.
I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Why are they
Who
two?
am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Ooh, it looks pretty tasty. That looks kind of weird. A twisty, windy hallway. I thought I just saw a door a minute ago. Oh, there's the door. Is it just gonna open or are we gonna take a turn? Nope, it opened. Alright, I guess I will begin the game. The end is never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end. Click
This is
to
the
skip.
story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was
There's the
employee
balloons.
number 427.
They weren't there earlier.
Employee number 427
For some reason.
was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
Okay, I skipped. It was gonna be the same. Alright. Okay, good. There are balloons. For a second there, I thought that was...
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Get
to the
well
meeting.
someday.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, a bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
The bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Nope,
Coming
I'm
to
going back
stages,
downstairs.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
That's there.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as
The
these.
bucket. I love the
He held
bucket.
the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
Just a
Someone
normal
else's
bucket.
perhaps. How did I end up with
It's
someone
not as
else's
shiny.
bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
No feet.
Incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
I have no feet.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this
She
occasion,
stole my
her walk was
bucket.
interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Act flipped all the way to work. All because she had a nice bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms.
My bucket.
A wave of comfort rushed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind.
No, never mind. The bucket was
Stanley took
wrong.
the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
This is sketchy. Super sketchy. Oh, no, no, dead.
Stanley figured
Dang
that
it.
any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
How sad. I wasn't ready to follow up. I just wanted to see the action line if it was there or not.
Someone was following Stanley.
Alright, that's where we're going to end the video today. If you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Until next time.